If there's one thing that sets apart men who effortlessly attract women from those who consistently find themselves struggling, it's this: they know exactly what to avoid. So much of the advice out there tells men what they should do, how to build confidence, how to impress her, how to keep her engaged. And while these things are important, what's often overlooked is something just as vital: the mistakes you absolutely need to avoid. Attraction isn't just about making all the right moves, it's equally about steering clear of the wrong ones. Now here's where most men fall short. They mistakenly believe that trying harder, being nicer, giving more, or constantly going out of their way to please her will win her over. But in reality, some actions don't just damage attraction, they completely wipe it out. The worst part? Many men don't even realize they're making these errors. They're left puzzled, wondering why she's suddenly distant, why she's lost interest, or why her behavior toward them has changed. By the time they figure it out, it's often already too late. So today we're cutting through the clutter. Here are the 5 things you should never do with a woman if you want to earn her respect, her desire, and her true attraction. Avoid these at all costs and you'll be on the right track. Let's dive in. Secret number 1. Never seek validation from her. Seeking validation is one of the most destructive forces when it comes to attraction, yet so many men unknowingly fall into this trap. It can show up in many subtle ways: constantly asking for reassurance, "Do you still like me?" Wondering if she's upset with you, over-explaining yourself, "I just wanted to make sure you didn't misunderstand me," or even seeking her approval to be yourself. "Is it okay if I say this?" There's also fishing for compliments. "Do you think I'm funny? Am I attractive to you?" At its core, seeking validation stems from insecurity. It's about giving her control over how you feel about yourself instead of standing strong in your own identity. And here's the hard truth: women don't want to play the role of your emotional caretaker. When she feels like it's her job to constantly make you feel good about yourself, the attraction starts to fade. What she craves is a man who already knows his worth, someone who doesn't need her approval to feel validated. So how do you stop? 1. Detach from her reaction. If you crack a joke, don't watch her to see if she laughs. If you make a decision, don't second-guess it based on her opinion. Stand firm in your choices without looking for external validation. 2. Give validation, don't seek it. Instead of waiting for her to confirm your worth, flip the script. Challenge her, compliment her in a way that shows you appreciate her depth, not just her looks. Show her you see more than just surface-level beauty. 3. Remember, she's attracted to confidence, not neediness. Confidence isn't about being cocky, it's about being secure in who you are regardless of her approval. A man who doesn't seek validation commands respect, and a man who commands respect naturally attracts admiration. If you're finding value, hit like and subscribe so other men can discover this epic Stoic truth. Let's continue. Secret number 2. Never put her on a pedestal. There's a common misconception many men hold: the belief that if they treat a woman like royalty, she'll return the favor and treat them like a king. But in reality, the more you elevate her, the more she starts to look down on you. Most men don't realize it, but attraction isn't built on idolization, it's built on respect. And a woman cannot truly respect you if you treat her like she's above you. This doesn't mean you should be rude or dismissive. It simply means you need to treat her as an equal, not a goddess. The truth is, she doesn't want to be worshipped. She wants to be challenged, intrigued, and engaged. What she desires is a man who stands beside her, not one who bows down at her feet. So, how do you stop putting her on a pedestal? 1. Don't over-compliment. If you're constantly telling her how amazing she is, she'll stop believing it. Compliments are far more impactful when they're earned and rare, so use them wisely. 2. Have your own life. A man who places a woman on a pedestal usually does so because he has nothing else going for him. Get busy. Have goals, ambitions, and a sense of purpose. When you focus on your own growth, you naturally become more attractive. 3. Call her out. If she behaves disrespectfully, speak up. If she starts acting entitled, don't tolerate it. A woman respects a man who has the courage to set boundaries and stand his ground. She doesn't fall for a man because he worships her. She falls for him because there's something real, tangible, and authentic between them. Real attraction doesn't thrive in a fantasy. It exists in reality. Secret number 3. never let her control the relationship. A woman will test you not out of malice or cruelty, but because she needs to see who you really are. She'll challenge your patience, your confidence, and your ability to stand your ground. And if you fail those tests, respect for you will begin to fade. The worst thing you can do as a man is let a woman steer the course of the relationship. This often happens when you're too eager to please, agreeing with everything she says just to avoid conflict. You let her make all the decisions because you're afraid of disappointing her. You apologize repeatedly even when you haven't done anything wrong. But here's the truth. A woman doesn't want to lead, she wants to trust that you can. Leadership doesn't mean control, it means having direction. A man who knows where he's going and stands firm in his choices is a man a woman can rely on. If you let her take charge, over time she'll begin to resent you for it. Trust isn't built on submission, it's built on mutual respect and knowing that you're both walking together, not one ahead of the other. Secret number 4, never be afraid to walk away. Nothing kills attraction faster than a man who is afraid of losing a woman. When men fear losing her, they compromise themselves, tolerate disrespect, and endure draining situations, all in the name of keeping her. But here's the paradox. The man who's least afraid to lose a woman is often the one who keeps her the longest. She knows he's with her because he wants to be, not because he needs her. A man who stays by choice, not out of need, commands respect. And respect is the foundation of attraction. But when you're afraid of losing her, you become too agreeable. You stop setting boundaries, let disrespect slide, and accept bad behavior to keep the peace. This shows her something dangerous, that your self-worth is tied to her. Women don't want to be your everything. They want to feel that you'd be fine with or without them. Walking away is powerful. It's not a game or an attempt to make her chase you. It's about maintaining self-respect. When you walk away, you're saying, I have standards and if they're not met, I'm out. This sends a powerful message. Most men tolerate bad behavior, change who they are, and settle for less to keep her around. But a man who can walk away, that's a man with options, and options make him naturally attractive. When to walk away. 1. When she disrespects you. Disrespect can be dismissing your opinions or mocking your ambitions. Tolerating it teaches her that it's okay. 2. When she plays mind games. If she's hot and cold, stringing you along, or keeps you guessing, walk away. These are power plays, not love. 3. When she's no longer interested. If she's pulling away or treating you like an option, match her energy and leave. Never beg for attention. How to walk away with strength. 1. Don't announce it, just do it. Weak men try to make a scene or say things like, you'll regret this. Strong men simply disappear. 2. Make it about you, not her. You're walking away because you refuse to stay in a situation that doesn't serve you, not to punish her. 3. Never look back. The biggest mistake men make is walking away, then texting her or hoping she'll return. If you walk, walk for good. Final truth. A man who can walk away chooses self-respect over temporary comfort. And that's the kind of man a woman will never want to lose. Secret number 5. Never be inconsistent with who you are. Women are attracted to certainty, but not the kind that comes from arrogance or false confidence. It's the certainty that comes from a man who knows himself and stays true to who he is, no matter the situation. A man who is consistent, who doesn't shift or adjust his personality to fit the expectations of others, is someone women respect. But a man who changes his words and actions depending on who he's with, who morphs his personality like a chameleon, will lose her respect every time. Deep down, what women crave is stability, a foundation that doesn't crumble when faced with pressure. They want someone whose presence doesn't dissolve when things get tough. A man who, no matter the circumstances, remains himself. Sadly, most men fail this test without realizing it. They think they're just being adaptable, reading the room, but in reality, every time they alter themselves to please someone else, they lose a piece of their authenticity, and that is a surefire way to kill attraction. Women are wired to seek stability in a partner, not just financial or social status, but emotional and psychological stability. This instinct runs deep. Biologically speaking, a woman's survival once depended on choosing a man who could be trusted, someone who would stand firm in the face of danger and not falter under stress. So, when a man is inconsistent, when his moods are unpredictable, when his actions don't match his words, her instincts tell her he's unsafe. Even if she doesn't consciously recognize it, she'll start pulling away, testing him more, and feeling less drawn to him. Not because he's a bad person, but because he's not solid. How inconsistency kills attraction. 1. It makes her question who you really are. If you're constantly changing, she'll never know if the person she's seeing is the real you. She'll start doubting your words, second-guessing your intentions, and eventually losing interest. 2. It signals weakness, not adaptability. A strong man can adjust to different situations without losing his core identity. He can be fun at a party, serious in a meeting, comforting to a friend, all while staying true to himself. But a man who shifts completely depending on his surroundings looks weak, like someone who needs external approval to feel validated. 3. It makes her feel unsafe. If one day you're all in for deep, meaningful conversations, but the next you act like you couldn't care less about anything serious, she'll be confused. If one moment you talk about commitment and the next you avoid it altogether, she won't know where you truly stand. And if you're confident around your friends but suddenly insecure when you're alone with her, she'll feel like she's dealing with a completely different person. She won't know which version of you to trust. And without trust, there can never truly be desire. The power of being unshakable. The most magnetic and memorable men throughout history were the ones who stood firm in who they were, no matter what the world around them demanded. Think of Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, philosopher, and leader. In the midst of chaos, he remained unwavering in his principles, never bending to public opinion. Or Bruce Lee, he was adaptable in battle, but at his core he stayed true to his philosophy, his discipline, his essence. The men who stand their ground today, not in a stubborn or aggressive way, but with a quiet confidence that says, "This is who I am," are the ones who are truly magnetic. These men don't betray themselves. They evolve and grow, but they never lose sight of their core values. That's rare. That's powerful. How to stop being inconsistent. 1. Define your values and stick to them. If you don't know what you stand for, you'll fall for anything. Take time to clarify what matters most to you, and when you've got it, don't abandon those values just because a situation gets uncomfortable. 2. Be the same man in all situations. Whether you're with your boss, your best friend, or a woman you're interested in, be the same person. Adjust your approach if needed, but never compromise your character. 3. Match your words with your actions. If you say you'll do something, do it. If you claim to have a certain mindset, live by it. When your words and actions don't align, you lose credibility, and with that, attraction dies. Attraction isn't just about what you do, it's about what you won't tolerate. A man who seeks validation, puts a woman on a pedestal, lets her control the relationship, fears walking away, or is inconsistent in who he is will lose respect, power, and ultimately attraction. But a man who stands firm, knows his worth, leads without fear, and never compromises his self-respect, that's the man she remembers. That's the man she values. That's the man she desires. In a world full of men who bend, break, and beg, a man who stands unshaken is rare. So ask yourself, are you the kind of man a woman can't help but respect, or are you just another man hoping for her approval? The choice is yours. If you found this valuable, subscribe for more insights. Stay strong, stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next one.